All right. Looks like we might be getting a good fight out of Gervonta Davis next against Leo Santa Cruz in May. I think it might be May 30th, and if it is, oh, what a thumb in the eye to Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back. All right, so checked out a video on Fight Hub. Shout out to Fight Hub for their interview. Marcus Villegas interviewed Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz is the former 126-pound WBA champion, long reigning champion down there at 126 pounds. He recently moved up and fought at 130 pounds for the, I do believe it was like maybe the WBA regular title for at 126 pounds up. But regardless, I mean, at 130 pounds, yeah, I think that's, yeah, at 130 pounds, the belt that Alberto Machado had held before I think they might have elevated the guy who beat Machado to the super champion, but it's one of those belts up there that Leo Santa Cruz won. And so Leo Santa Cruz was getting interviewed, and he was asked about he was asked about what his plans were next, and he says that he talked to the PBC and that they said that they're looking for his next fight to be in May, and that fight would be most likely against Gervonta Davis, that they had presented the idea for the fight to Gervonta Davis, that Gervonta Davis's team had accepted it. So it looks like that fight is in the work. And Marcus Villegas asked Leo Santa Cruz why you want to fight Gervonta Davis. He said Gervonta Davis is really big. A lot of people are, scared to fight Gervonta Davis. He's got a lot of power. Why would you want to fight Gervonta Davis? And the answer that Leo Santa Cruz gave just reiterated, man, that this dude, although he seems to be a very nice guy, soft-spoken guy, hard to get mad at the dude when you hear him talk. He's just sounds real soft, so it's like, but anyway, Leo Santa Cruz says it's because Gervonta Davis is a champion and people think I'm afraid of fighting champions, so I want to fight Gervonta Davis. Now, that's nonsense because Gervonta Davis is not a champion. Number one, he's not a champion. He's the WBA regular title holder. He does not hold a major belt at 135 pounds. The only two champions at 135 pounds, the only champion is that right? No, the only two champions at 135 pounds right now are Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. They're the only ones because Devin Haney lost his title when he was moved to champion in recess for the WBC when he was injured. And then he had shoulder surgery. I do believe it was shoulder surgery. So he's not the WBC champion. The only ones are the WBO and the WBA champion, Vasily Lomachenko, and the IBF champion, Teofimo Lopez. So for Leo Santa Cruz to say he wanted to do this because he wanted to fight a champion, because people are afraid that he wouldn't fight a champion, that, my friend, is just it falls on his face because he's not a champion. The second reason I say that's funny sounding is because there are champions in your own weight division that you won't fight. Gary Russell Jr. is right there for you. Gary Russell Jr. has been saying he wants to fight you. Why not Gary Russell Jr.? Now, thankfully, Marcus Villegas asked the question. He asked the question and he says, hey, well, Gary Russell Jr. said that he wanted to fight you. Well, what happened? Leo Santa Cruz said that they had sent offers to Gary Russell Jr.'s camp, but they don't know why, but Gary Russell Jr.'s team didn't accept the fight. He said, I don't know if he was asking for too much money. I don't know what the deal was, but they turned down the fight. BS. Okay. What was the excuse with Rigondeaux? Did Rigondeaux turn the fight down too? Did Rigondeaux turn that fight down too? Because this ain't the only dude. Gary Russell Jr. ain't the only one to want to fight Leo Santa Cruz, where Leo Santa Cruz goes up in weight and leaves the weight class not to fight him. We know what the truth is here, man. I think it's most reasonable to assume what the truth is, what's going on here. Okay, maybe I won't say I know what the truth is, because that's obviously not the case. But my suspicion is that it's the money. My suspicion is it's the money, and that he believes that Gervonta Tank Davis is an easier fight to win than Gary Russell Jr. And that might be the case, because Gary Russell Jr. is not going to get hit by Leo Santa Cruz. And I don't think that Tank Davis is going to get hit with it either. But Gary Russell Jr. is a more experienced fighter. From what I saw in that last fight, man, he's just so highly skilled, man. Gary Russell Jr. is not easy money for anybody. He wasn't easy money for Vasily Lomachenko. And Vasily Lomachenko is definitely one of the best fighters in the world, and he's significantly bigger than Gary Russell Jr. Had all kind of height and length advantages on Gary Russell Jr., and Gary Russell Jr. still gave him a very good fight. And that was during the Lomachenko days. He's switching so much, everybody's confused. Gary Russell Jr. wasn't confused. Didn't look confused at all. Looked like he was coming up off a layoff, and looked like he was the smaller man, but Gary Russell Jr. didn't look confused at all by Vasily Lomachenko. And quite honestly, man, I would love to see another Gary Russell Jr. versus Vasily Lomachenko fight. And that's why Leo Santa Cruz doesn't want to fight Gary Russell Jr., because he ain't got a chance to win. He wants to fight, I believe that he wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, because even if he loses that fight, he's going to make money. But he'll say, I just went up. The guy was a little too big for me. He was a little too strong for me. It was the size difference. I thought that I was winning the fight. I think that I'm the better fighter, but Gervonta Davis he's just too big. He's too strong. I wasn't acclimated to the weight class yet. All of that stuff. The Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence Jr. thing, right? Well, hey, let me not fight Vasily Lomachenko at 135 pounds, because if I lose to Vasily Lomachenko, who probably is a little bit smaller than me, then that's going to look really bad, and then people will think that I'm not what I was. No, I was not what I was chalked up to be. All I was chalked up to be, and but if I go fight Errol Spence Jr., hey man, that is a win. That's a win, no lose situation. I can move up, fight Errol Spence Jr. If I lose and I look halfway decent in it, then hey man, I was just too small for the weight class, or I wasn't acclimated to the weight class, and that's why I lost. But it's not that you lose. Like, people are gonna think that you can no longer fight in your own weight class. The only person that I've seen that has done that, and where that situation didn't work, was Guillermo Rigondeaux. Right? Guillermo Rigondeaux can move up 2 weight classes. But when he moves up 2 weight classes, if he loses his belts. And he was never all that good. He was never that good to begin with. Look what he only lost to Lomachenko at 130 pounds, man. He's fighting now at 118. This guy only loss came at 3 weight classes above where he's fighting right now, man. But that's not going to work for Guillermo Rigondeaux, but it'll probably work for Leo Santa Cruz. But not a fan of Leo Santa Cruz. I'm just not a fan of Leo Santa Cruz. If this fight happens with Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis is going to knock out Leo Santa Cruz, and he's going to knock him out something ugly. Leo Santa Cruz is not going to be, is Leo Santa Cruz, if he's going to want to mix it up, and because he said that's what he would do, is he would put a lot of pressure on Gervonta Davis. See, he's going to see a lot of punches coming at him and, see how he deals with all of that. Look, man, unless this dude get a nice dose of Dillian White's Deanna Ball in his system and just winds up that he's a much bigger guy than we ever thought he was, that stuff's not gonna work. Gervonta Davis is gonna hit Leo Santa Cruz in the middle of those combinations. That southpaw stance, I think, is gonna cause dude a lot of problems. Just nah. But there is a good side to it. The good side to it is that or not good, because I don't want to sound like I'm hating on Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez, because I like that fight. But the rumor, and I'm going to do a video about this a little bit later, the rumor is that the Teofimo Lopez versus Vasily Lomachenko fight is going to be on May 30th, and it's going to be on ESPN pay-per-view. So, but let me tell you, man, if Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez is going to be on pay-per-view, that shit's going to flop. And the only reason they would do that is to offset the cost, but that is going to flop, especially if people have the option to watch Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta Davis, who are both more popular fighters than their counterparts in that fight. Gervonta Davis is a more popular fighter and has got more interest and buzz around him than Vasily Lomachenko does. And Leo Santa Cruz has just as big a name or bigger name than Teofimo Lopez. So yeah, just don't look for that to do particularly well. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. Hey, I'd appreciate if you not subscribed, if you can subscribe. Also, much love and shout out to all the Patreons and the people that joined in the channel. Peace.